Where am I?
Wait, we need to talk.
Oh no, the Clankers won, didn't they? Welcome to the Ark, an underground facility built to survive the nuclear winter. When the government couldn't contain the zombie virus, they just said, fuck it, nuke 'em. Now imagine you just woke up in a strange facility, in an arseless gown, with a conspicuous scar over one of your kidneys. What's the first thing you'd do? Congratulations! You've got cancer. Fallout from the nukes has left the surface in an irradiated state, and it didn't even kill the zombies. Survival up there is not an option. Everything is ruined. Not a drop of loot remains. Those who survived are desperate, driven to depravity. After you're done throwing up blood and dying a terribly painful death, you can try again. This clanker tells us that we've sustained a head injury, and
say the line, Bart!
We have amnesia.
They must have amnesia. They forgot that I'm him.
After a very long line of questioning, we learn that we're in a fallout bunker, having been found injured and brought here about a month ago. There's a hydroponics lab, a virology lab, an armory, generators, a supercomputer, chapel, decontamination chamber, barracks, and of course, the infirmary. Apparently there were more people here, but she recently lost contact with them during a supply run. After a lengthy yap, she tells me to make myself at home. So I wolf down some food, painkillers, and sleeping tablets, and sleep off the injury. A couple of days later, I told the facility to make an inventory check. There's a little bit of fresh food, with more on the way. Plenty of alcohol, loads of non-perishables like flour and canned food, a bunch of maintenance and cleaning supplies, a limited amount of guns and ammo, and some medical supplies. I talk again to Emma, the clanker. After having her explain the facility, she tells me that fuel and supplies are running low, and with the others having not returned, we're on a timer. Thankfully, they left notes explaining how to maintain everything. Exactly why Emma hasn't done any of this herself?
How many R's are in the word strawberry?
There are actually 2 R's.
This mod really hit Zomboid like no other. I've never seen a mod get so much attention so quickly. It's almost like it has a feature that the community has been waiting years for. It expands upon the Week 1 mod, adding purpose to the game through a story. By far the best part is the Ark itself. It's chock full of unique systems in a way that no Zomboid mod has ever achieved. It adds a challenge to Zomboid in a pretty all-encompassing way. Life outside the Ark is impossible until the fallout ends, and the parameters in which it decays is up to you. I wonder what that option does. Yo, it's a skeleton. Wait, where's he going? Oh, I know where he's going. Oh, you guys are going to want to stick around for this one. This video is sponsored by Polarium. Skeletor and He-Man, icons of the 80s, are making a comeback, and you too can become a master of the universe! Do you have an Android, an Apple, or an PC? Then you can sign up and add He-Man and Skeletor to your team in Raid Shadow Legends. My team is rapidly filling with characters from my childhood. Now I have He-Man as my main DPS, since he's a self-buffing powerhouse, with Skeletor debuffing and petrifying his enemies, knocking back their turn meter. If you want to get Skeletor, it's easy. Simply log in for 14 days between May 19th and June 22nd, and after 7 days, you'll unlock Skeletor, followed by extra bonuses for the next 7 days. I can't understate how much I love that Raid is cross-platform. You can join my clan, the Him-Man clan, and we can play together against the clan bosses, campaigns, and even PvP arenas, all without compromising on the AAA graphics on mobile. You can also progress through the champion passes. The basic champion pass is free to all players, with tons of free silver, accessories, energy, and a He-Man avatar, while the elite champion pass gives premium rewards for every level, culminating with the legendary champion himself, He-Man. Just make sure to start by June 22nd to have time to unlock him. So what are you waiting for? Download Raid using my link or QR code now to instantly unlock a huge starter pack, including the legendary support champion, Narma the Returned. When you reach level 15, you'll get the massively sought after epic champion Uugo. Then of course, after 7 days you get Skeletor. You can also pick a legendary champion with one of the promo codes for Turvold, Alice the Wonder, Cheshire Cat, Razelvarg, and Grad Oak Padrake. I recommend Turvold to drag aggro away from He-Man and Skeletor. Just make sure to redeem your champion within 48 hours of signing up with my link. Until we meet again! Let's do a quick tour of everything keeping the facility alive. First up is the generator. Actually, there are two of them. The main one, and a backup so that the main can be shut down for maintenance. Each has its own fuel and condition level. Fuel is simple. On the surface is an inlet. Then they require lubricant and coolant to reduce wear, and engine parts for repairs. Also in the generator room is the water filter. It uses electricity from the generators, plus a charcoal filter to turn groundwater into potable water for drinking and for watering the crops. It also requires maintenance to prevent damage. Then there's the CO2 scrubber, which removes carbon dioxide from the air, either passively with the use of electricity, or by taking and decontaminating air from the surface. And there's the decontamination chamber, which uses a neutralizing agent that needs to be kept topped up. It's not a sustainable system. More food can be grown, but it's low calorie. Fuel reserves will only last so long, and once we're out of maintenance supplies, the equipment will break down. The supercomputer, called Noah, I see what you did there, Slayer, controls everything, and has its own battery in the case of power loss. One quirk of the facility is that it isn't unique. It's part of an array of other facilities which can transmit to one another via broadcast, but in doing so, will reveal their location to anyone tuned into the right frequency. Basically, if you want to listen, you also reveal your location. The last time this facility's concealment was lifted, a tanker was dispatched to refuel the facility, but it never arrived. With the main generator at 26% fuel, and the smaller backup at 50%, the clock is ticking. Emma thinks the tanker is between March Ridge and Muldra, and asks me to go look for it. Honestly though, the surface is a terrible place to be. There's no way I'll survive a trip like that. I've never even been on the surface since the fallout began. The surface instruments read -45 Celsius on the surface, with a radiation reading of 4.8 Rontgen. Not great. Absolutely terrible. Assuming 450 Rontgen is a lethal dose would mean that 93 hours on the surface would be a lethal dose. But given how fast you actually die to radiation sickness, it's more likely that the reading isn't per hour, but per minute. That would mean that roughly 90 minutes on the surface without proper protection would be lethal. And it wouldn't be instant. It would take days, weeks even. First, burns and sickness. Then a period of incubation, where it seems like you're getting better. But in reality, the body takes a few days for cells breaking down to show symptoms. Then a slow, agonizing death would follow, as your body rots while you're still alive. So yeah, I don't really fancy going for a run to Muldra. Although, the alternative is suffocating or freezing to death underground in the dark with no power. Speaking of dying in the dark, I start feeling sick. An alarm alerts me to high carbon dioxide. The computer reads 4,600 parts per million, and rising. 1,000 is the safe limit. I run to Emma. She already has a mask on. She says the surface vent is probably malfunctioning, degrading the facility's ability to scrub CO2. Obviously she's not going to fix it. So it looks like I have no choice but to go to the surface now. I put on a hazmat suit, a gas mask, and leave via the decontamination chamber.
Stand by. Decontamination in progress. Decontamination complete.
With the vent fixed, the CO2 levels start going down. It is peak apocalypse up there. I doubt I could even survive for more than a few hours without somewhere to warm up. Radioactive fallout, at least the stuff you breathe in, dissipates pretty quickly. In about 6 months, I'll be able to go up without a gas mask. But all the material like soil and vegetation will continue to be radioactive for thousands of years. So we may as well wait. I'm still recovering from being in a coma for a month anyway. Let's take a minute to familiarize ourselves with the medicine we have stocked. First, and most importantly, we have potassium iodine. One of the main risks in a radioactive environment is from your thyroid absorbing radioactive particles. In layman's terms, iodine tablets saturate the thyroid so it can't absorb anything. It doesn't remove radiation from the body. Nothing can do that. But if I know I'm going to be exposed, or if I need to take my mask off to change filters, or if my hazmat suit develops a leak, This will reduce the amount of radiation that my body absorbs. Next is pentoxifylline, a medicine primarily used for poor circulation. It has the secondary use of increasing blood flow and diluting carbon dioxide in the blood. In other words, if the CO2 scrubber fails again, this can buy me some time to fix it by temporarily reducing the symptoms of CO2 toxicity, which includes drowsiness and even the loss of consciousness. There's also nicofamide, which is a stimulant used to combat tranquilizer overdoses. It's listed as a banned substance in sports due to its performance-enhancing properties. In a pinch, it could be used during emergencies on the surface, like hypothermia. It won't heat up the body, but it can provide the extra energy and alertness to get to safety. There's also the more standard medication, like aspirin for pain, beta blockers for panic, antidepressants for when I think too much about how the world's ended, caffeine pills for energy, and antibiotics. If I get any radiation burns, they'll be extremely useful. It's clear to me that our position isn't sustainable. With the others gone, we're left without tools or supplies to maintain the Ark. Emma says they abandoned some tools in the community centre on a previous mission, so I suit up to go out. The surface conditions in the lead up to December are brutal. Survival on the surface is not an option. You're on a timer up here, and not a particularly long one. Over time, the nuclear winter will diminish in severity, hopefully entirely. But right now, I need to be quick. This is way too many. I have to get back, but I can't attract them to the bunker. I've got to lose them first. Less than 2 hours outside, and I'm already exhausted and half frozen. The radiation isn't killing the infected. The cold is barely slowing them down. Maybe Emma can look into why. Well, I still need those tools, but I barely even managed to check the nearest houses. If I can sneak to the community centre and try not to make any noise, I might have a better chance. So I suit back up. Facing this cold will never get easier. Okay, there's the tools. But I've still attracted too much attention, and they're blocking off the stairs. I'm gonna have to jump off the roof. Ouch. Bruh, stop. In the retreat, I end up dropping the bag, but there are too many on my trail, and I'm too cold and exhausted to go back and fight for it. I try and sneak home, but all the noise has drawn them to the bunker. On the verge of death by hypothermia, barely able to keep walking, I loop around the perimeter and sneak inside. I can only pray that none of them saw me. I wake up the next day in a panic. It was one of those dreams where it feels like an epic story, but when you wake up, you realise it was complete gibberish. I figure it's better to give the surface some time to cool off, and let the infected disperse. The crops are almost ready for harvest, but our armory is rapidly depleting. We're out of 45 for the 1911 I was using, so I switched to an M9. I had resigned myself to staying in the bunker for some time, that is until the alarm went off.
Attention. Power generator fuel level low.
The main generator has fallen to 10% fuel. We're running out of time. Fuel consumption is sitting at a whopping 1.4 litres per hour. I know it's an entire facility, but surely we can reduce it. I shut down the external air filter and turned down the heat. Looks like my respite is cut short. I eat and drink before once again suiting up. Oh fuck. first, I need to get these guys away from the bunker. That's why I brought the shotgun. That should thin them out a little, plus it drags them away from the bunker. A quick trip inside to warm up and take meds, and I'm back out. I lost track of where I dropped the bag in the blizzard, but eventually find it and bring it back. That, however, doesn't solve our power problem. In a bid to buy more time, I turn off as many lights as I can, but the main generator runs out of fuel regardless.
Power down. Emergency lights on.
I switch to the backup with its smaller tank, and continue switching off everything that I can. Fridges, more lights, even turning off the heat. Emma will have to work in the cold. Even wearing extra layers, I still wake up cold. It's 1.3 Celsius in the bunker. It's minus 53 outside. We still used 5% of the fuel while I slept, and that puts our remaining fuel at about 2 days. I've gotta find that tanker. The problem is that extended periods on the surface is suicide. Emma had mentioned that when the bomb went off, people went into their basements, but was convinced that not a single good soul survived. I have little choice. The only way I'm going to make it to Muldra is if I find some places to warm up along the way. I'm starting to recover from the muscle atrophy of being in a coma. I feel stronger and faster already. I rush down a street of houses, checking each of them for basements. On the 6th house, I find a hatch, but it's locked. I should have brought a crowbar. Not that it would have helped, as I quickly get swarmed by infected. I try my best to stay quiet, but it takes so long that I risk getting hypothermic. I find another hatch on the walk back, but as I go to mark it on my map, my filter clogs up. This is probably the only instance where a filter going off doesn't ruin my day. I promptly head back to warm up and get the crowbar, but it's so cold in the bunker now that I have to get out of the hazmat suit and into as many layers as possible. 41% fuel left. I try turning off the CO2 scrubber entirely, but it's rising to dangerous levels too quickly, and I end up catching a cold. That's gonna do wonders for my gas mask filters. I scrounge up some extra layers, wearing multiple shirts and tops, as well as long johns, in an attempt to warm up. I even wrap up in bed and try and nap it off, but wake up to another nightmare. 30% fuel remaining. I need to make progress. They're at the door again. I dispatch them and run to the closest hatch. But this time there are even more infected. Way too many. I run back, then sneak around another street, and manage to quietly clear it. Then, bearing in mind what Emma said, I pry open the hatch. Not a single good soul survived. Shit. That's going to attract a ton of infected. I need to be quick. Are those human bones? Oh, God. No time to think about it. Okay, there's some fuel. I wouldn't trust any of the food here, even if they weren't cannibals. I have no idea if the contents of food are contaminated. I'll think about it later. Time to go. With the reduced fuel rate, we've bought ourselves maybe 10 hours. Jerry cans are just a drop in the tank. We need way, way more. The temperature has dropped to minus 18 Celsius in the bunker. I have to turn the heat back on, or we'll freeze. Oh, man, the crops. When I wake up the next day, we're already back down to 29% fuel. Today's the day. It has to happen. I go over all my equipment, checking for damage, making sure that I have enough medicine, gas mask filters, and flashlight batteries. And I load the last of the pistol ammo I have. It's time to get that tanker, or die trying. It took me all day, but I managed to get to the edge of March Ridge. Now all that's left to do is make the push for the tanker. So I ran. I ran until I couldn't run. Then I walked until my filters gave out and almost suffocated me. I changed them and took iodine, and tried to rest. But exhausted in the cold, I'd die if I dozed off. My laboured breathing burnt through another filter, and I exposed myself again by changing the filter. I took all the meds I could to try and keep going, but I still couldn't pick myself up from the ground. Is this how I die? No. Just put one foot in front of the other. Keep moving. Eventually I came across what I could only surmise were radioactive hotspots. Whatever it was absolutely ruining my filters. I decided not to get too close. Only one filter left now. Just one foot in front of the other. Come on. Wait, is that? There it is! With the last of my energy, I hobbled over to it. The door was locked, so I smashed my way in, but it wouldn't start. I filled it with the little fuel I brought, and tried again. Yes! I immediately cranked the heat up. Even with the window smashed, it should keep me from freezing to death. Now to get it home. I skirt around the radiation patches, and down the road. This thing handles like shit. I'm lucky it even runs. Okay, I gotta think this through. If I drive straight towards the bunker, I'm gonna bring the whole town down on it. Maybe if I stop at one of the basements first? As I pull into March Ridge, I have to go off-road. Shit. Shit. The driver's side is it won't move! Jesus fucking fuck! I ditch the tanker on the main road and sneak into one of the basements that I cleared. The fire's out, so I go up to collect a plank to turn into a fire starter and restart the fire. I set a timer on my watch so my filter doesn't suffocate me, and sleep. I wake up a few hours later and switch to my final filter. There are some extras here, but I want to decontaminate them before I use them. I was thinking about how to get the tanker back, and I had an idea. If I park up near the bunker, then sneak in on foot, I can come back out with my remaining guns and lure the zombies far enough away that I can pull the truck in. So I head back up, drive to the community centre, and sneak into the bunker. My last filter runs out as I enter. The suffocation made me tired and dizzy, so I took some medication and collapsed into bed. I didn't even take my hazmat off. The fuel warning wakes me up. 8.8% fuel. That jerry can gave us just enough. Wow. I grab some filters, guns and ammo, and a quick bite to eat, then take some meds, and head up. Time to bring this tanker in. I did it. Oh my god, I did it! I turn the heating back on, wash myself and my clothes, and turn all the lights back on. Finally, I can rest easy. I'm a little bit lost without the urgency of imminent death. Emma is content to keep researching. I asked her about my suit ripping. She tells me to continue taking iodine, and she'll monitor me. The crops died from the cold, but I think we have enough supplies to outlive the fallout. I'm sure we can find some seeds somewhere once it's safe to breathe up there. Although, I doubt we'll be able to grow anything in the irradiated soil. Emma is eager for me to go out and find her companions, but it's simply too dangerous. They're either dead, or in a position that we can't save them. I'm not dying to find out which. She settles for me getting her a corpse to study. I hope she learns something from it. In the rush to the tanker, I glossed over some potentially important things. There was a basement with a diary and movies. It would be nice to watch something other than the same show on repeat. There was also a bunch of supplies in the basements too. I'm pretty sure the one I slept in had gun loot. One of the basements was empty, but had fires lit, and signs of recent activity. I don't know, just gave me a bad feeling. The point is, I should probably head back out for supplies, but I've earned some rest. Anyway, there's always work to be done. The decontamination chamber is throwing a low chemical error, so I head into the maintenance tunnels to see what I can do. Unfortunately, one of Emma's companions must have taken the key, because I turned this place upside down and couldn't find a key to any of these maintenance doors. The only logical solution here? Break the walls down. This is the supply room for the decontamination chamber. Inside is a lifetime supply of NBC tablets, which when diluted, don't eat them, create the decontamination solution. Depending on how often we use the chamber, this will need to be topped up. I also find some supplies down here. Some farming supplies, but no seeds. As well as engine lubricant and coolant. I should probably go top those up. Like, right now. It's so cold in the maintenance tunnels that I catch a cold. That or I'm about to die of radiation sickness. Life in the bunker seems to be going well. Until...
Structural integrity hazard detected.
Yep, even the Earth itself wants us dead. We must have done something terrible in a previous life. Ugh, turn that damn alarm off. Multiple cracks have formed in the facility, but nothing seems irreparably damaged. I'll have to keep an eye on the CO2 and radiation levels inside the facility. The biggest issue is that the quake bust a bunch of light bulbs. Better add those to my scavenging list. I decided to dig up the dead crops and turn off the farm lights. No sense in wasting power. That's when I discovered the newest threat to our existence. The generator itself. I can take care of its fuel, lube, and coolant levels fairly easily, but the condition? Well, lucky I'm a mechanic, and that there's a manual for these specific machines. But the engine parts required to repair them? They're in short supply. And even after using every single one, the condition on the main generator is 68%, and the backup is on 29%. All good for now, but I don't know where we can get engine parts from. There's nothing left up there. Maybe some Mad Max nutjob has a basement with vehicle parts, but that's about all I can think of. That's a problem for future me. I think I've soaked up more than a lifetime supply of radiation. I'm starting to think my hair won't grow back.
So beautiful, but damn, look at my fucking forehead!
While there's always stuff to do, there's still a lot of downtime. Sometimes I'm productive and I exercise, sometimes I just drink. What can I say? I'm British.
Good morning, Glenn!
I practice loading my guns, eat the last of our fresh food, and I maintain the generators, but the earthquakes are really doing a number on them. I guess it's time to head back up. I decide to check a car wreck. There's definitely some engine parts I can salvage. I just need to find some welding tools. I'm pretty sure I saw some in a basement somewhere. I end up at the one that I never opened due to the horde. I pry it open and head down. Fuck, my mask! That's what I get for giving them a chance to talk to me. Fuck, I've got a hole in my suit. And a gash across my face. I'm soaking up radiation. I need to get back. I rip off my suit. It's ruined. I wash the wound, but the damage is done. Iodine won't help me now. I threw up in the night. I'm sick. Emma confirms it. It's radiation sickness. I put everything in the decontamination chamber, just in case, and head to the med bay. There's little I can do. I either took a lethal dose or I didn't. And even if I survive, that just took decades off of my life. I spend a few days in the medbay, leaving only to fetch food and water. As soon as it's clear that I'm not dying, I put back on my clothes and clean up all the blood.
Attention. Power generator fuel level low.
No rest for the wicked, I guess. Alright, I need those welding tools. Time to hit some basements. Oh, holy! Oh, fuck! I'm shot. Fuck! I need to get to Emma. Fuck!
Hey!
Fuck! I need to go help Emma.
Hey! 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 Hey!
It's me, Emma. I am here. You will be alright. Just please tell me, how many hours are in strawberry? Don't wait, you're actually dying.
Emma? Oh god, that's a lot of blood. Oh, my wounds are stitched. I shout out for Emma.
Hey!
Nobody responds. There are bodies. Not infected. Oh shit, they'll be irradiated! I need a suit. Wait, now I'm irradiated! I need to decontaminate or I'll spread radiation all over. Oh fucking hell, where's Emma? I need to get these bodies out of here. What the fucking hell happened? Oh, nothing else got irradiated. Thank God. Dragging the corpses through the decontamination chamber used up all the solution, so time to add some more. Then I collapse on the sofa and pass out. Still no sign of Emma. Hope she's okay. I suit up to move the corpses to the stairwell, and find that they have a fair amount of supplies on them, including welding tools. That must have been how they got in. Another earthquake hits as I head back in. It looks like Emma refueled the facility while I was out. Maybe she's out there working now. I can't worry about her any more than I already have. I'm sure I've torn my stitches moving all these corpses. When I wake up the next day, she's researching away like nothing happened. She tells me that they broke in not long after me. She woke up to gunshots and caught them as they tried to breach the barracks. It was lucky they didn't run into me first. She dragged me to the infirmary and stitched me up. Looks like I owe her my life twice over now. She tells me to take a course of antibiotics and rest as much as possible. The bunker is looking pretty beat up. Half the lights are out, cracking concrete all over, and the generator's condition is so low that it's malfunctioning and shutting down. At least we have the welding tools now. Looks like I'm heading back out. Are you fucking kidding me? Ignoring the fact that we're down to 3 working suits, I head out and start tearing apart car wrecks. Unfortunately, the welding mask and gas masks are incompatible, and since I don't want to go blind, I have to expose myself to radiation to work on the wrecks. 2 cars is all I have fuel for. It's probably best I limit my exposure anyway. I didn't exactly get much, but I'm able to replace a few parts on the backup generator. So the next day, I head out again, this time looking for more basements. I mark off half the town without finding any, and a terrible gust of wind has me wondering if any of these buildings will collapse. I'm very lucky that didn't compromise my suit. I'm able to get some more parts, and after sneaking around some hordes, I find another basement. I don't really like the idea, but I'm gonna have to rely on scavenged hazmat suits and gas mask filters. My expeditions are getting more ambitious, but I still can't stay out for very long without getting hypothermic. When I'm this tired and cold, I'm slow, and there's a real risk I'll get grabbed by any old zombie. And they seem to be slowly making their way back to the bunker. My repairs result in the main generator reaching 39% condition, and 18% on the backup. Not exactly comforting numbers. Hopefully by watching the fluid levels like a hawk I can stretch the parts further. I wake up to another earthquake. At this point, they're becoming routine. The kitchen runs out of food, but luckily the storage room has a ton of non-perishable cans and ingredients, like flour, rice and pasta. I bring some of them into the kitchen. I should really cook up some meals and freeze them. The earthquakes are severely damaging the facility. More than half the lights are out, and I have to cannibalize the less frequented parts of the base just to keep the main parts lit. All the while, my wounds are all infected. Something about running around in a sweaty hazmat makes for a bacterial breeding ground. Let's just hope I don't create some kind of antibiotic-resistant super virus. If you know me, you know I barely ever cook my meals. It's way more convenient to just eat them straight from the can. Hey, I'm not a savage. I use a spoon. So I bring in a bunch of ingredients and start cooking up some delicious meals. We don't have any fresh ingredients, but did you know that by opening the cans, you can add them as an ingredient? This will be our first hot meal in a hot minute. Somehow I managed to burn half of it. Emma still eats it though, in a show of support. Yes! I'm not bald. In the coming weeks, I try to clear out the rest of March Ridge, but find myself struggling to make progress. The infected are encroaching on the buildings adjacent to the bunker, but I managed to go back to the movie guy's bunker and lug home all the VHS tapes, but my escapades end with a run-in with more of the basement bandits. I'm sure you can guess how the next few days go. Sadly, I can have no peace. The generators malfunction, and I wake up to the emergency lights. 5% generator condition. There's only really one thing I can think of. Those bandits are still out there. If engine parts are what we need, then why don't I rip out the tanker's engine? It feeds the facility via gravity, so it doesn't need power. It nets us 23 engine parts. Considering each wreck was giving us 1 or 2, or sometimes 0, this should keep us on for a while. I get the main generator up to 95% condition, switch to the backup, and get that one up to 97%. And I've got a handful to spare. I think that's everything that could immediately threaten us. We're safe now.
What? Are you fucking kidding me?
So, the recommended way to play this mod is to save scum every night before you go to sleep, because dream sequences like this will just kill you. Oh my god, what a crazy dream. As if the world knows that I've solved every problem we might have for the next 3 months, it starts throwing absolutely everything at me. First, I wake up to a raid. Then I spend all day dragging the bodies out and decontaminating everything that got irradiated. I wake up to another raid. I have another dream where I'm falling this time. And when I wake up, The generator has somehow fallen to 7%? Are you fucking kidding me? And the backup one to 50%, even though I didn't use it. Okay, whatever. I'll just use the last of the engine parts. Then the computer gets hacked, I think? While I'm trying to figure out what's happening, another raid occurs. That brought in a ton of zombies, which seemed to kill off most of the raiders. Eventually, I realise I have to turn the computer off and on again to get it working again. While the computer was off, the CO2 rose to 18,000 parts per million, and it's barely dropping. Looks like we're going to be living in masks for a while. I also had to decontaminate half the bunker, because the hack turned off the decontaminator. The worst part of all of this is that I have to sleep in a mask, so I have to set an alarm or I will straight up die in my sleep. And the raids just keep coming. Can't forget about the weird dreams. This one, I'm in a labyrinth. And here's one of my wife dying, I guess. Here's one of an alien talking to me. Oh, can't forget the hell dream. This one actually got a good chuckle out of me, I can't lie. Okay, so a lot of time passed there. I chose the mod option for 6 months of Fallout, but after about 30 days, I started playing pretty fast and loose. For example, I spent about a week mixing plaster and concrete to repair the entire base, only for the earthquakes to ruin it again within a month. I had hoped to stay in the bunker until it was safe on the surface, but the generators were once again critical, and I had no more engine parts. You can see how the surface has improved. It's now only minus 11 Celsius, and even some of the trees are growing back. I estimate that within a month, the initial fallout will have ended. But with safer surface conditions comes more desperate bandits, who ambush me while I'm working on the wrecks. Okay, I'm done. I love having my balls crushed, but this is too much. I stopped having fun about 20 hours ago, and I've officially spent more time troubleshooting the mod than playing. The fact that the dream sequences just kill you, and it forcing you to stick to the story, I don't know. I tried to tell my own story and avoid the turns out you made the virus and God hates you plot, but it just doesn't work. I really, really hate to flame a modder, because who the fuck do I think I am? Just don't play the mod if you don't like it. And I'm making money from it, so I'm being a huge asshole. But man, this was my most frustrating Zomboid experience. But if I'm being completely fair, the frustration stems from the potential. If the mod had options to disable the AI voices, the story, and things like the earthquakes, it would redeem itself entirely. But it's not my mod, and Slayer can do whatever he likes, and absolutely doesn't deserve any hate. I already regret flaming Proto on my previous Zomboid video. I had planned to extend this video out to a post-apocalypse rebuilding sort of thing, but yeah, I gave up. Alright, enough rambling. More Zomboid coming soon. Thanks to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Use my link now for a free legendary and epic champion, plus one of the promo codes for an extra legendary hero.